Alrighty everybody, welcome back to Culz Checks Out. I know I'd promised Spinosaurus week and unfortunately not able to deliver that this week. It's just been kind of a rough week. I'm also not feeling the best, so you guys are still getting content, but just a little bit different. And hey, there's still one more week of Jurassic June, so there'll be more Spinosaurus stuff. So yeah, just stay tuned. Obviously with that one more week, there's still plenty of options to cover, and I think you guys are going to be excited with what we are covering. But like I said, just because I'm not feeling well, I did not want to not give you guys some content. So checking out something a little bit easier to review, and that is this pop figure of Jurassic World Rebirth. This one, though, of Carnotaurus, which is, I guess, a little bit of a reasoning I picked it, because it gives me the option to talk about. There was a recent article that talked about Carnotaurus and Diabloceratops both being in the upcoming film. So again, is it a spoiler? Possibly. We'll have to see. Just because figures and stuff come out doesn't mean they're going to be in the movie, but being that, you know, an article mentioned that they're amongst the different species of dinosaur going to be in the film, there's a little bit higher possibility. Also would be really cool if we could finally get Crichton's chameleon camouflaging Carnotaurus from his Lost World novel. Would be really cool. And you know what we're seeing here, different design than we've seen previously in either Fallen Kingdom or Dominion, as well as, you know, different coloration than we've seen in like the video games and stuff like that, or toys. So yeah, let's check it out and we'll go from there. Alright, so because this is a little bit different of a figure, we're going to have to cover a little bit more sides of boxes. So up top we're going to see, it says Pop Movies, Funko, and just the top of the Carnotaurus peeking out there. On the left side of the box we got Pop Movies with the full Carnotaurus there, and it says it is number 1804, 1804. On the front we see Funko Pop Movies, Jurassic World Rebirth, 1804 again. We see a picture of the Carnotaurus, as well as obviously you can see the figure itself. Right here is a little scan code, Special Edition Funko. And right below, it's Carnotaurus. It says it's a vinyl figure. On the right side of the box, we're just going to see Carnotaurus, just the name on the side there. Again, you can see inside and see the figure, and it says Pop Movies. And then right below, Carnotaurus peeking out again. On the back we see Pop Movies again, 1804, Jurassic World, and just a little bit of background of like a jungle kind of hidden behind a window that has water driplets on it, and then the Carnotaurus. It's kind of weird, doesn't show any of the other pops. I know there's quite a bit, including a giant Spinosaurus and the Diabloceratops. Not having any advertisements for those ones, kind of interesting. On the bottom you're going to get all the warnings and stuff, not for children under 3, the box is recyclable, stuff like that, as well as your barcode if you need it. Alright, so let's get this one out of the box. Alright, so here you see the Carnotaurus out of the packaging. It actually has quite a bit of detail. I haven't really looked at Funko Pops in quite a bit. I used to collect them back in the day and really haven't in a while, but this one was kind of fun, and like I said, gave me a chance to talk about a dinosaur that doesn't have a figure and kind of just reference what it might be doing in the future of the franchise. So I guess having it in more of a natural environment doesn't really matter too much, being that it is a Funko Pop, so it's going to be very cartoony in style, but always kind of nice just to keep the consistency, and it doesn't look too bad out in the wild. As you can see up top, it does have its trademark horns, though a little behind where they probably should be on the head. The color of the eyes are kind of what is intriguing to me, just because they are just that solid yellow. They don't really have any defining trait. Does that mean it's like a nocturnal animal? Why is it yellow? Now again, I think the Diabloceratops ones are just solid, so probably just creative licensing, but hey, if this was a hint that they will be the chameleon ones and nocturnal, that would be so cool to finally see on film, and it would be kind of a cool little lore to build in. Hey, this was the kind of prototypes that led us to know, hey, we could do some camouflaging abilities with the Indominus. But yeah, overall, looks pretty cool. This is a Funko figure, so there isn't any like action features or anything, just a static figure. Alright, so we're going to take a up close look at the figure. For being a Funko and very kind of stylized, obviously, it does have a decent amount of detail, as you can see. Just, you know, crisscrosses, and you can see where skull patterns are there. As well as the horns have little lines running up and down them. You can also see detailing around the eye, as well as a difference between the scales right here on the face, as well as right along the cheek, are vastly different. There is also a good number of teeth, as you can see, all the ones on the top and bottom jaws. Not too much detail in the mouth, but you can see different colorations with the tongue, the top of the jaw, as well as the side of the cheeks and back of the mouth being black. As far as coloration too for the head, you see like a dark red, almost purple up top with a light red pinkish right below it, transitioning into like a tan orange in color. Again, it'd be super cool if it was chameleon. I don't think so, but it's really nice coloration. Hopefully, if they do appear in the film, hopefully it looks like this. On the back of the neck, you see the osteoderms running down, as well as on the back all the way through the tail. And unlike the Mattel figures, it actually has coloration all the way down to the tip of the tail. So super cool. Now, something with Carnotaurus, the osteoderms are something they are known for, but they probably wouldn't have been in such a pattern that we see here. More just kind of speckled throughout the skin instead of in a symmetrical pattern or something like that, kind of based on more recent studies. Again, this is a Funko, so the head are always super big. Looks kind of funny. Reminds me a little bit of the baby Godzilla figures, or the just baby Godzillas in general, how they looked from the Roland Emmerich film. So yeah, if you guys want to make a custom baby Godzilla figure, Funko Pop, probably the one to do it with. Because it's got like the osteoderms, you can just repaint it. There was even a baby Godzilla figure that was this coloration, so that's why it's kind of funny. You can see this one has the 3 fingers with painted claws, though. Carnotaurus had more fingers, one without a claw though. And arms just a little too long, but again, it's stylized, it's okay. It's not supposed to be realistic. And you can see the underbelly throughout all the way to the tails, like that light right. And then as far as the legs and feet are concerned, you can see some scarring right there, as well as a little bit just detail on the feet, as well as, hey, they're colored as far as the claws go, both the like dew claws and the front claws. So yeah, pretty neat. Let's see how we can do some just figure comparisons, considering this is the only Funko Pop I have for Jurassic or any dinosaur in general. But yeah, let's see what we can compare it with. To help you guys kind of visualize how big this figure is, I did bring out some other Carnotaurus. Like I said, I don't have any other Funko dinosaurs or anything like that to compare it with, but I do have Carnotaurus. So we will kind of run through a brief history of the Jurassic figures just to see how they've evolved, and then maybe there'll be one that's not Jurassic in here just to compare. Alright, so first up is going to be the Demon Carnotaurus from the Wave 2 Jurassic Park lineup. Obviously a pretty iconic figure, so you guys, I think by now have at least seen what it looks like and kind of can judge this one based off that. As you can see, the Demon obviously is going to be much, much bigger. And next up, speaking of the Lost World, we have the Lost World rendition here. As you guys know, it played a pretty decent role in the novel, and of course got this figure. It's another one that's pretty well known by now. If you guys are following Jurassic anything, I'm sure you guys have seen it, and it helps really do a nice little comparison, as they both are in a rather odd position. One super cartoony, one has a really weird upright stance. Alright, so next up is going to be one of the more recent Mattel offerings. I know they have the Jurassic World reimagined like demon incarnation that they made, which was real feel. I do have that one, but because I did the original demon, I thought I'd show you something a little bit different. Here it is compared to the Hammond Collection Carnotaurus, with its mouth open and agape. As you can see, this size difference with all of them are much bigger, and they're actually all almost in the same size range. Maybe the Lost World one's the smallest so far, but just kind of cool to see the history of Jurassic figures. And for the last one, we'll check out a Carnosaurus that isn't Jurassic Park, but I played around with doing the gigantic Disney Carnotaurus one I have, but figured that would just kind of be ridiculous. It's far bigger. It's bigger than, I think, the Bull Rex. It's huge. So instead, I'll be doing the Rebirth incarnation. This is based off of Disney's Dinosaur. This is actually that second wave. They did a re-release of it because it was super popular. And yeah, you can see it's a little bit more in line height-wise, but obviously that one's got detailing. It just looks super cool. But yeah, there's some comparisons for you. Alright, so yeah, there's the review for the Funko Pop Carnotaurus. Will they actually appear in the film? And I guess the more pressing question, is this kind of a leak at what the design would be if they do? Because I am really kind of digging the coloration and style. And again, these dinosaurs we've seen from just the trailers, obviously the film just a couple weeks away, but they've looked fantastic. So if it does appear, I'm sure it'll look good, and I'm looking forward to it. If it doesn't, at least we got this kind of neat little figure to go along with it, and we'll see. Hopefully we get a Mattel version that's a little bit more updated, fitting this design. But until next time, guys, for more Culz Checks Out, click that link to your left. The most recent one is that Spinosaurus Micro Adventure one. If you guys want more from us here at Culz Paranormal, click that link to your right. And of course, we'll be having lots of cool videos in the near future, including some stuff about the Jurassic World Rebirth film itself. So if you guys want to see that, make sure to hit that like button and give us a subscribe. And let us know what you guys think about the new releases from Funko tying in with Jurassic World Rebirth. And how would you feel if this is the new design for the Carnotaurus? Let us know in the comments below.